The humanitarian impact of the Palestine Genocide. The ongoing conflict in Palestine has been described by some as a genocide due to its severe and lasting impact on the lives of Palestinian civilians. This term, genocide, is used to highlight the extreme and systematic nature of the suffering inflicted upon Palestinians, encompassing violence, displacement, and severe deprivation of basic needs. Understanding this humanitarian crisis requires a thorough examination of how the conflict affects the lives of ordinary people, the destruction of their communities, and the broader implications for human rights and international law. Historical context and overview. The conflict in Palestine has deep historical roots, dating back to the early 20th century. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, creating a long-standing refugee crisis. The subsequent wars and conflicts have perpetuated a cycle of violence and instability. Recent years have seen escalations in violence, including military operations and clashes, which have exacerbated the humanitarian crisis. The term genocide is used to describe the systematic and targeted nature of this violence, which many argue aims to undermine the Palestinian population's ability to sustain itself. Loss of life and casualties. One of the most tragic aspects of the humanitarian impact of the Palestine Genocide is the significant loss of life. In conflicts over the years, thousands of Palestinians have lost their lives due to bombings, military operations, and other forms of violence. The casualties often include a disproportionate number of women, children, and elderly individuals, who are the most vulnerable in times of conflict. The constant threat of violence and the frequent bombings have created an environment of fear and uncertainty, where every day brings the potential for loss. Displacement and refugee crisis. Displacement is another critical aspect of the humanitarian impact. The conflict has led to the forced displacement of millions of Palestinians, both within their own territories and to neighboring countries. The situation in Gaza, in particular, has resulted in a severe refugee crisis, with many people living in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions in refugee camps. These camps, while providing some basic shelter, are often lacking in essential services such as clean water, healthcare, and education. Destruction of infrastructure. The destruction of infrastructure is another significant humanitarian concern. The conflict has led to the widespread demolition of homes, schools, hospitals, and other essential buildings. This destruction not only disrupts daily life, but also impedes access to vital services, such as healthcare and education. The rebuilding process is often slow and complicated, with many areas left in ruins for extended periods. Economic hardship and blockades. Economic hardship is a pervasive issue resulting from the conflict and associated blockades. The restrictions on movement and trade have severely affected the economy in Gaza and other Palestinian territories. Businesses struggle to operate, and unemployment rates are high, leading to widespread poverty and reliance on humanitarian aid. The economic blockade also hampers access to essential goods, including food, medicine, and building materials. Healthcare crisis. The healthcare system in Palestine is under immense strain due to the ongoing conflict. Hospitals and clinics are often overwhelmed by the number of casualties and lack essential supplies and equipment. The destruction of healthcare infrastructure and the blockade on medical supplies have led to severe shortages of medicines and medical equipment, making it difficult for individuals to receive the care they need. Impact on children and education. Children are among the most vulnerable in the humanitarian crisis, facing unique challenges due to the conflict. The violence and displacement disrupt their education, leading to a loss of learning opportunities and long-term impacts on their future prospects. The psychological trauma experienced by children, including exposure to violence and the loss of family members, can have lasting effects on their mental health and development. International response and humanitarian aid. The international community's response to the humanitarian crisis in Palestine includes various forms of humanitarian aid and diplomatic efforts. Organizations such as the United Nations and numerous non-governmental organizations provide critical support, including food, medical care, and shelter. However, the effectiveness of aid is often limited by the ongoing conflict and restrictions imposed by the blockade. Long-term implications and the path forward. The long-term implications of the humanitarian impact of the Palestine Genocide are profound and multifaceted. The ongoing conflict and its effects on the Palestinian population will have lasting consequences for generations to come. Addressing the immediate needs of the population is essential. But it is equally important to work towards a sustainable and just resolution to the conflict. Efforts to support the Palestinian people must include addressing both humanitarian needs and the broader political and social issues at play. This involves fostering dialogue, promoting human rights, and working towards a comprehensive and lasting peace agreement. The humanitarian impact of the Palestine genocide is a deeply troubling and complex issue that affects millions of people. The loss of life, displacement, destruction of infrastructure, economic hardship, healthcare crisis, and impact on children and education all contribute to the overall suffering experienced by the Palestinian population. Understanding these issues in detail is crucial for developing effective responses and working towards a resolution that addresses both immediate and long-term needs. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For more awesome content, have a nice day and I will see you in the next video.